In a dusty village on the outskirts of a booming city, lived a poor man named Rahim, a widowed father who toiled endlessly as a farmhand to raise his only son, Ayaan. Though they had little, they shared a bond rooted in love, laughter, and survival. Ayaan was a bright young man, full of dreams. After completing school, thanks to Rahim's sacrifices, he landed a job at a construction firm in the city. It wasn't glamorous, but it offered hope. Rahim, proud yet cautious, watched his son leave for the city with tearful eyes and a heart full of prayers. Weeks passed. Then months. At first, Ayaan would call every night. He'd tell his father about the busy work, the noise of the machines, the speed of city life, but always left something unsaid. Then, the calls stopped. Rahim sensed something was wrong. When his letters were returned unopened and his calls unanswered, he sold his only goat to afford the trip to the city. When he finally arrived at the firm, no one would talk to him. Workers avoided eye contact. Supervisors dismissed him coldly. But Rahim wouldn't leave, not until he found his son. At night, he searched shelters and hospitals. Days turned into a week. On the 8th day, a janitor at the construction site whispered to him, "Your boy, they hurt him bad." He spoke up about safety violations, and the foreman made an example of him. Rahim's heart sank. He found Ayaan in a government hospital, bruised, broken ribs, a stitched scalp. The boy had been accidentally pushed from a scaffolding after confronting his boss about unpaid wages and unsafe conditions. Rahim wept silently, his calloused hands brushing his son's face. He wanted justice, but had no money, no power, no lawyer. Just love and rage. But Rahim didn't stay silent. He started telling Ayaan's story to every worker, every passerby, every journalist he could find outside the hospital. Most ignored him. Some mocked him. But one day, a young intern journalist named Sana overheard his story. She took pictures of Ayaan's condition, interviewed Rahim, and published the story online under the headline, "The Son Who Spoke, the Company That Silenced Him." It went viral. Public pressure forced the authorities to act. The construction company was investigated. The foreman was arrested. Ayaan's medical treatment was paid for by the government. A human rights organization offered to help Rahim legally. Ayaan slowly recovered. He never went back to construction, but he found purpose. Inspired by his father's bravery, he studied law with a scholarship from the same journalist who told his story. Years later, Ayaan became a labor rights advocate, defending the very workers he once stood among. As for Rahim, he returned to his village. Poor still, but proud. He didn't own land. He didn't have gold. But he had raised a son who turned pain into justice. And that was enough.